For the first 12 years of your education, learning is a highly structured process. Teachers curate the information, map out the syllabus, dictate your daily choices, and guide you along a predetermined track. Then you arrive at university, and that academic safety net vanishes. The professor speaks for an hour, hands out a reading list, and leaves. No one checks if you actually do the reading. No one monitors your daily progress. Now you are entirely on your own. Many students crash hard into this new reality. They quickly adopt the limiting mindset of a completely dependent learner. They wait for a tutor to tell them exactly what to do. They leave assignment writing until the last possible minute, relying on the pressure of a deadline to force them into action. And they accept whatever they read in a textbook as absolute, unquestionable fact. Doubling down on your high school study habits won't fix this. Working harder at being a passive receiver of instructions leads to burnout and failure. To survive, you have to change your relationship with information. You have to transition from a dependent student to an active, independent learner. This means unlearning a decade of dependency. You have to step into the role of the teacher for yourself, take ownership of your time, and actively learn how to learn. Independent learners act as architects of their own education. They deliberately choose courses based on personal motivation, rather than simply following a pre-packaged syllabus. Once that path is chosen, they have to become a strategist. This requires discarding vague desires, like hoping to graduate with good grades, in favor of a highly specific, multi-tiered hierarchy for setting goals. This textbook excerpt breaks down the psychology of goal setting, starting with outcome goals. These focus on the competitive final results of an event, like winning a marathon or passing a final exam. Because you do not have total control over the outcome, relying purely on these targets can increase anxiety and actually harm your motivation. Moving down the text, we see the next layer, performance goals. These are self-reference targets. Instead of trying to beat an opponent, you aim to set a better time for a 10-kilometer run, or improve the accuracy of your tennis serve. You have direct control over this progress. Finally, at the most granular level, you establish process goals. These are the specific, daily, physical actions required to be successful. It is the basketball player releasing the ball at the exact peak of his jump, or a student outlining one essay paragraph every morning. To execute those process goals day after day without a teacher hovering over your shoulder, you need a specific kind of fuel. Psychologists call this intrinsic motivation. It is the drive that comes from inside you, from the actual enjoyment or personal value of the work itself, rather than the promise of an external reward. By layering these three types of goals, the student replaces the pressure of external deadlines with an internal system for directing their own academic trajectory. That control allows you to adopt the third and most crucial trait, the investigator. Remember, a dependent student sits in the library and waits for the professor to hand them a curated reading list. An independent investigator actively identifies exactly where their knowledge is weak. They proactively navigate online databases, read academic journals, and scan specialized library texts to hunt down the precise information required to fill those gaps. As we see here, this requires breaking down a single, seemingly solid fact and testing it against multiple data points. You stop accepting textbook claims as absolute truths and start actively cross-referencing and interrogating the material. This investigative mindset extends out into the real world. Independent learners pursue primary research. They observe physical phenomena firsthand, or interview discipline-specific experts to see how theoretical models hold up in practice. To make sense of that raw observation, you need rigorous documentation. Here is an example of a structured observation sheet used to track peer review behaviors. It forces the researcher to systematically tally specific actions, like a student offering praise or criticism, turning fleeting moments into concrete, usable data. Academic investigation builds the capability to construct entirely new understanding from raw, unfiltered data. The architect, the strategist, and the investigator. When you combine these three traits, you stop memorizing facts for a test. You are actively directing your own mind. The lack of a rigid structure at university is no longer a missing safety net that causes anxiety. It becomes an open landscape. You now have the tools to navigate it, explore it, and build upon it on your own terms. Higher education prioritizes this development of intellectual autonomy over the specific facts of any one degree or subject. Graduating with this level of intellectual autonomy means you are equipped to break down, investigate, and successfully solve the complex, unstructured problems that the real world will inevitably throw at you.